Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and today I have here two orchids. They are inside this chamber, high humidity chamber that I created to try to save them. I probably showed you these orchids before, and what I want to do here today is show you, sorry, the windows are open, the wind. It's show you what I intend to do with these orchids, and after we kind of saved our orchids inside these chambers, what are the next steps? So what should we do afterwards? So I show you what I will do with these ones and what are the signs that I know that I can safely remove them from these kind of containers. Before we start this video, the proper care, I just want to introduce you that my Prostica plicata. This Prostica came in that bundle where I bought 14 orchids and I didn't know if they would survive or not. Basically, this one, each was not looking really good, but it not only pushed out roots, it grew a new growth and now it's pushing out another new growth. So I'm so happy. The second thing that I have in here is not only my Phalaenopsis pocherrima, that was a tiny keiki that I placed in here, but also I do have a Dendrobium nobile, that's one of that kind of purple that goes towards the blue. Not nobile, Dendrobium Phalaenopsis, I'm really sorry. This one I don't know if it has enough roots yet. We will check together, but the pocherrima is good to go. So, how can I know that it's probably time to remove from these kind of containers? First of all, these orchids, they didn't have any roots when I placed them here, or the roots were really tiny. That was the case of the pocherrima. We placed these orchids inside these high humidity chambers to increase the humidity and to try to save the orchids so the orchids will not lose water to the environment and then not as much water as it would lose if it was out of here in our world, but also we'll have more time to safely grow their roots if the orchid is healthy enough. It has the possibility to grow roots. I have other videos where I talk about it in more depth. I'll link it down below. But today I will focus on why I'm removing them here, what are the signs. So let's start with the Prostica, shall we? So the Prostica is here inside this kind of plastic bottle. I cut the plastic bottle and used both parts. I added some moss at the bottom and I was waiting for it to grow. What are the signs that I know that this Prostica is safe to be repotted? Basically, when I look at it, I can see not only that it has a new growth now, and that's perfect because this new growth will push out a completely new root system that will be able to adapt in the new potting mix. Also, inside this kind of chamber, I've looked beforehand and I can see that we have roots in here. These roots, they need to be more than 10 centimeters long and they need to be able to absorb water. I decided to wait a little bit longer because I want to be safe with these orchids. Usually, we have only one chance. In this case, this orchid has 3 pseudobulbs, 1 each fully mature, and now push out another growth. So with 4 growths, I'm definitely safe here. So that's the reason why I decided to remove from this chamber and place it in a completely new pot, and I will be able to finally place it with my other orchids and maybe have blooms in the future. With my pocherrima, I'm not going to focus on the Dendrobium today because I don't know how the roots are. But with my pocherrima, as I said, this is a keiki, and although the leaves are very tiny, their roots are super long. And I can see here, these roots, they are probably more than 20 centimeters long, and they are absorbing water. It has root tips. It has all the good signs that I'm safe to remove it from this little chamber. If you ever do that, if you ever place your keikis or orchids that are trying to save inside these chambers, look for some of these signs. Look to see if your plant has new growths, it has pushed out roots, if the leaves are hydrated, if the orchid has a healthy look. It's a perfect time. That's the right moment for us to repot it. So now, what I'm gonna do with these plants, I will repot them and I will also give you some close-ups So we'll discuss the stage of these plants and how they have recovered inside these kind of chambers. Let's start. So now, here it is, my Prostica plicata. And as you can see, the new growth is here. And I have all the bulbs. The first thing that I have to do is to remove this plant from its potting mix without breaking any roots. This plant, we need to be very careful because this plant doesn't have a complete root system, a mature, suitable that's able to bloom. So we need to be careful to save as many roots as we can. The first step is just to remove this moss. I have a ton of live moss. It's quite cute. Hope you can see the live moss. Very, very cute. So we're going to just start removing it and see what we can do here. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Yay! I'm not extremely concerned. I'm really sorry about the external noise, but I cannot close the windows because it's actually hot in here, which is quite almost a miracle, I must say. So I have less roots than I hoped. I think I had more roots in the past, but anyway, I don't know why. Maybe something to do with how it was potted. Let's keep removing that. Yay! Okay. There we go. This is my Prostica. It has some roots. They are here, hope you can see. This root has a root tip that's growing. This one as well. And I have some roots that are alive, and there are some basal roots here that are a little bit strange at the moment. I can safely remove this root. That's mushy. The other root seems to be okay. So I will keep them for now. So now I will add it to my tray and let's repot it together. As you can see, I have here my pot. This one I drew some holes. This is an epiphyte orchid, so it's great that I have plenty of ventilation here. Also, I will pot it up as I pot most of my orchids. I will add some layer of moss at the bottom. And I will add some bark chips as well. Because it was potted fully in moss, I will add a little bit more moss until it becomes completely stable inside this potting mix. But I need to be very, very careful with the roots that I have in here. I don't have a ton of roots. I expected to have more roots than what I have at the moment. But hopefully, it will grow with time. I think this bundle that I bought, the plants were not only super stressed, but I think they came with some disease. I'm not sure. That's a suspicion that I have of some of the things that some of the plants were showing. Maybe that's why they were discounted as well. Anyway, I need to be very gentle, as I said, with the roots. And now I have my slow release fertilizer here. I will add 3 beads. Oh, was a little bit more than 3, was like around 5 beads. And let's hope that my plant will adapt to its new environment. I don't have many Prosticas. I have the Vitellina, and I love it so much. I lost the Vitellina and then I bought it again because it's definitely one of my favorite orchids. My Vitellina is doing super well at the moment. Now I have this one, and I have another tiny Prostica that came with the same bundle that it's alive. It's in a tiny potting mix as well. So, just adding some bark chips here at the top, and we are good to go. The next step here is to water this plant because this potting mix is completely dry, but I'm done. Let me grab the second plant to show you. Hey, this is my Phalaenopsis pulcherrima. And I have to do the same thing that I did with my plicata. Just remove it from here. Let's check the root system. Show you something. Oops. I adore the moss, this live moss. Look at the size of these roots. The plant is tiny. Oh gosh. The plant is super tiny. but the roots are so healthy. So hopefully it will be healthy moving forward. The mother plant has never done well for me, and I don't know the reason. So hopefully the cake will, but it looks like it's growing well. So I'm so glad with that, and I can't wait to grow it even more. Let's check the Dendrobium phalaenopsis, but I'm not going to repot it here with you. I'm going to just show you the root system. The good thing about sphagnum moss is that sphagnum moss is very gentle to the roots, and it's very easy to remove as well from the root system, which makes a great addition to some potting mix, especially to orchids that are stressed. Look, this is a root. There are roots here as well. There are roots here, so it's doing super well. It's so tiny, I think I will keep it here for a while now. And I will repot it when I'm back, because I'm going away. This plant has done super well with sphagnum moss. And I haven't figured out what the issue it is with the mother plant. So I will add more moss than anything else, with a little bit of bark here and there. The only difference between the other plant and this one is the root system. I have a very long root system. The plant is super tiny. I didn't want to have to offer it a larger pot, so I'll see what I can do here. If I can accommodate the roots inside this tiny pot, would be ideal. I think I can. Just did. Perfect. So now I'll keep repotting it. As I said, I will add more moss than bark, but should be super easy to repot. This one I have no other chance of saving it because the mother plant is gone. So that's my only shot. Leaves me a little bit nervous and anxious. I don't know what was, again, I don't know if this plant has some sort of disease because it has never grown very, very well. If was something with my care. Don't know. We will discover. Hopefully this cake will grow well. If I notice that something's not doing very well inside the potting mix, I will unpot it and maybe add to another chamber. Just a curiosity about these phalaenopsis specifically. It's a little bit different from most of phalaenopsis that we find in garden centers, because this one is a terrestrial phalaenopsis or semi-terrestrial. It is not an epiphyte. The other phalaenopsis and phalaenopsis hybrids that we see around, usually the Butyriema flower spike will grow upward towards the light, while the other epiphytes, the ones that push out longer flower spikes, usually they will be hanging in trees. So it's a little bit different. I've been always super curious about the Butyriema, but there is nothing that I can do about it apart from keep growing it the best that I can. So there we go, it's repotted. Let me water both plants and come back to conclude the video. Ta-da! Finally, both plants are fully repotted and I'm so happy with the result. They look so cute. Look at my Butyriema, my tiny baby. I just watered both of them because my mix were completely dry. Especially these two plants, they were in a high humidity environment. So if I let them be without any water, they would probably struggle even more in this new setup. So it's advisable to do so, but be careful with crown of monopodial orchids. While I was watering, I dropped some water here near the stem of my phalaenopsis, so I had to dry, but now it should be okay. Just to conclude, as you could see, these orchids had different roots, and the roots had different lengths as well, but they were both in a stage that I think they could be moved out of that type of environment, which is great because now I can place them in my pot, I can offer them some fertilizer for time to time, and hopefully they will adapt to the environment that my other plants are as well. They'll be placed in the shelving, offer some growing lights, and with time they should push out even larger growths or larger leaves, and they will be healthy. Something to let you know is not every plant will survive inside this chamber. Some plants, they will have disease and they will have other issues, and it's going to be impossible for you to save them. It's worth trying, especially when the plants are struggling a lot. These two cases are cases where I was successful, but I lost many plants on my journey. So these one are the lucky one, and these ones are the lucky ones, and I'm so happy that they both have succeeded. And hopefully one day I'll have blooms and I'll be able to show you and to share my journey with my Prosciutto and my Pochirima. Let me know if you have any of these plants. If I have any tips about growing, especially the Pochirima, I'd love to hear from you. Also, if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, leave a comment down below. Follow me here to know a little bit more about my journey with orchids, and I hope to see you next week. Bye-bye!